girl, Crystal.
Hey everybody, it's Tanisha.
And welcome to another episode of She Laughs.
Yep.
So, guys, we got a special episode this week. Well, to me it is.
Everything is special.
Yes, we'll put it that way. Anyways, T, what are we talking about today?
Today we are talking about Christianity, sage, and all things pertaining to the universe.
Crystals.
Yes, crystals.
Zodiac signs.
Yeah.
All of that. All
yeah.
of that.
Some forms of, the meditation, the sun bathing. And I'm not talking about people who like to go outside and get tan.
No.
I'm talking about those that go outside because they want to gain the energy from the sun and
or the moon.
Or the moon
bathing as well.
Bathing. Yeah. That stuff.
Okay, that's what we're going to talk about. So this is why we're talking about it, guys. So this is not to offend people that genuinely believe in zodiac signs, sage, the universe, all of that stuff. This is for Christians who are doing those things as well.
They're dabbling in them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because the way I look at it, if you're doing the sage and you're the universe and crystals, that is your form of religious belief.
Mm-hmm.
I look at it as no different than a Muslim or a Buddhist choosing to believe what they choose to believe. That's just your belief system. And so if you listen to this podcast enough, T and I believe people can believe whatever they choose.
Absolutely. You have the freedom to do so.
Exactly. That is your choice. But as Christians, this is specifically for those who are as Christians that are using sage, moon bathing, crystals, and the like. And as to why you should not do those things as
also,
Christian.
I know you said those that do that view it as their form of religion. A lot of them don't. The word I've heard them say is, I'm a spiritual person.
Sorry.
And I've worked with people who say that they're spiritual, and I asked somebody, all right, what does that mean? I said, that if you're a spiritual person, so what does that mean? What do you believe in? Well, I mean, I don't really necessarily have a belief. I said, okay, so why would you say or choose to say you're spiritual? What does that mean to you then? Mm-hmm. And those are things that they practice. The burning of the sage, or the crystals. I'll have a crystal for this and I have a crystal for that. They didn't mention anything about, the sun or moon bathing or whatever. They did mention yoga and a lot of the mantras and chanting that they do with yoga. And I said, okay, well, again, spiritual means what to me? Because you haven't given it a definite meaning. So I don't understand how you would call yourself something that you can't describe.
That's an interesting point of view. Yes.
And they still couldn't give me a definition. Oh, well, I believe in God. I said, okay, you believe in God, so who is God to you?
That's another perspective.
Well, he's a spiritual being. Okay, and I could tell they were kind of getting defensive. I'm like, I'm not trying to say you're wrong or give you any kind of chastisement. I said, because I have nowhere I can put you.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, but I'm just asking to get a better understanding. And I said, also to make you give a thought. I said, because if you give me these same questions, I have an answer for them.
Yes.
And I said, and that doesn't mean that my answer is right or wrong.
It just means
I have an answer, because I'm not saying I believe something because it's trendy,
mm-hmm.
or it's the next hot thing to do.
Yes.
I said, so me asking you what is spirituality to you and who is God to you, I just want you to really think about it. And then if you have a definite answer, then that would technically be your belief system.
Yes.
Because it's something that you believe in. I said, because I don't want you to be out here doing all these things and you have no clue why you're doing them.
No. And sorry guys, a lot of people are doing that just to see well, I hope something works. I just know that there's something bigger than myself. So let me try this, let me try that, let me try this. And you don't actually know what you're dabbling in.
Yes.
And this episode is for you as well. If you don't know, this will give you some light onto Christianity and why we believe certain things and why we don't do those things.
And then those that are Christian, I need you all to really have a for real, serious, solid foundation. Because if you are saying you're a Christian, but you can't even answer the questions that I just asked, I need you to really get in your Bible.
Yes.
And then also really be thinking about your life and the things that you've been through and what has God done for you.
And I also really ask yourself, well, why is it that you go to church? Because I'll be honest, until I got a relationship with God, I went to church because it was out of tradition.
Yep.
And what my family did.
Yep.
And so this is what we do. We go to church on Saturdays or Sundays and we worship God. That's
and
what
that
I've been
doesn't
taught.
Get you to heaven any more than anything else.
So you got to have a actual relationship for yourself, and you have to actually believe this belief system for yourself.
Yes, not because it is trendy.
Yes.
And something to get into.
Or something that you've traditionally done or runs in your family. Because let's be honest, religion runs in families.
Yes, absolutely. Something that you're taught as a child, which is nothing wrong with that.
No.
But then when you become an adult, you have to decide, is this something that you're going to stick with because this is now your for real belief system, or is it something that you were just taught and now you're just going to repeat?
Yes.
That is the difference between relationship and religious tradition.
Yes. Yes.
So, again, this is not against anyone that does those things. No. If that's what you do and that's what you believe in, that's totally fine. Those are your choices. This is mainly for those Christians who dabble in them. And I genuinely want to know why many Christians do. Because technically, if you're a Christian, that already comes with a certain set of beliefs.
Yes.
Or it should come with a certain set of beliefs. There are Christians that I know of who do sage, and a lot of them, yes, they sage because, and then again, sage itself has its own set of healing properties. It really does. Yes. These are things that God has put in the earth that actually work. Herbs are medicines that are natural from the ground. They work. My concern becomes when you now have idolized or turned these things that you, Adam, man, woman, have dominion over, who now reign over you.
Yes, Lord.
What you don't realize is those things are now becoming to reign over you.
Yes.
If you cannot have a good functioning day until you sage,
it's now lorded over you.
It has now lorded over you.
And
when
you're
you
worshiping it instead of...
were placed here to have dominion over the earth. So technically, you can command your day out of your mouth.
Yes, Lord.
This is how my day is going to go. This is how I'm commanding it to be. So that is my concern, that now you have to have these things in order to just function on a day-to-day basis. And then my question is, what happened to prayer?
Yes.
Do you not believe in it? And then I know some Christians who, I have not asked them, but I've heard them say, well, I prayed as well. Okay, then which one is reigning? Because if I believe in the power of prayer, why do I feel like I need to add to it?
Yes.
That means there is a mistrust somewhere.
There's a contradiction.
Yes.
So
that's like reading instructions and adding your own to it. Do you believe that the instructions are correct? And I know people say, well, I mean, it doesn't hurt. How sure are you about that?
Mm-hmm.
It's really easy to, again, now this product or this object becomes your God.
Yes. I've had people, I mean, I've heard all types of things, guys, about sage and crystals, and the new word now is energy, and protect my energy, and the universe is willing me to do something. And here's the thing. For one, I've never understood it. Trendy, yes. Crystals, I mean, anybody likes crystally, glittery stuff, especially
the
women.
pretty colors and all that stuff. Yeah.
But to go towards it as a source of spirituality, or to think that it has some type of power to influence me, I've never understood. To me, they're very inanimate objects, and being a Christian, I understand that if I serve a creator, then I don't need to serve the things that he created.
Absolutely.
To me, it just doesn't make sense. Not knocking anyone, it just doesn't make sense.
Why am I relying on the resource when I know who the source is?
I have the source. And someone said, as many people as you see saging, the thing about it is sage eventually runs out. That means I have to go get it. Whereas prayer and my quality time in my relationship, that's not something I have to buy. That's not something that runs out. I can call on him any second, any time of any day. So my issue comes with Christians. It's actually a form of double-mindedness, because now you are really delving into serving two masters, which the Bible says you cannot do. You cannot serve two masters. So one is going to reign over the other, and you're going to see a lot of turmoil at times in your life, if not in your home, workplace, around you. It's going to be very chaotic. The reason for this is because you're dealing with two entities fighting for territory.
Yes.
So my thing for Christians is you have to decide and make a conscious decision as to who you are going to serve. If you're going to believe in God, then if you're reading his word, you understand he don't ask or require you to sage. He doesn't ask you to not call on one crystal at all. He says he's a jealous God. And you will have no other gods before me, no other idols. If you don't believe it, look at Moses and the children of Israel with the golden calf. That's one form. So it is very detailed, and he is very direct in how he says he wants you to serve him. There is no mention. Sage is not biblically sound.
No.
The universe is not biblically sound. Crystals and sunbathing and moonbathing.
Even your herbs, your other herbs, those who don't sage, who are big on essential oils and things like that.
None of that is biblically sound. So if you are a Christian and you're saying, this is the God that I serve, one, you have to really fully decide, is that your God? And then two, once you decide that, you got to understand that you have been sending mixed messages to people of other religions, or if they don't have a religion, that's what you're sending them, is a mixed message, because they are now saying, well, if you're a Christian and you believe in God and he's the one true God, then why are you also calling to the universe? One of these things is not like the other. So your message becomes tainted, because in one sentence you're saying, well, I believe in God and Jesus Christ, who's the Lord of my Savior and the Lord over my house and Lord of my life. And then, but I call on the universe to da 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 da.
Which one is it?
Which one is it? Or are you just calling on whoever and hoping someone answers you?
Yeah.
So that is my issue with it. I am very particular about things that I allow in my home, in my personal space, even certain people. And I have a lot of friends. They do the sage, they do the crystals and stuff like that. And I don't knock them. I understand that is their belief system. So there's nothing for me to.
That is their source. That's how I look at it. That's their source.
That's their source, and that's fine. But I've actually gone. One of my friends took me to a crystal shop, and I wanted to ask questions because I was like, you know what? Before I do or say anything against something else, I'm going to research it and find out. I grew up in a Seventh-day Adventist church, and one of the things that they taught was they taught on other religions. They taught me about Buddhism. They taught me about Muslim. They taught me about, Methodists and all these other types of religions. So I'm actually curious to find out about other things because I don't want to just say, no, that's not it. But at this point, I had already determined for myself who was the Lord and Savior of my life. Okay. And I went into this shop and I remember asking the young lady, I said, okay, I see all these crystals. I see your chakras. I know nothing about this world. Can you tell me about it? And the first thing she said was, well, how it works is you would look at what stone really draws your eye. That would probably be the area of life you need to work on the most. And she said you would hold a stone, or you might sleep on top of the stone, or you might put it in, your water, or you might put it on your dresser, however, or some people might choose to wear it. But when you're really feeling stressed or of concern, you'll hold the stone and you'll say, I'll call on the spirit of this stone. To me, that already was a red flag. Because here's the thing about spirits. If you're in the Christian world, spirits are real. They're real, guys.
Yes, very much so.
Okay. So I need to know, you say I'm calling on the spirit of this stone, but I don't know what spirit serves that stone or what spirits are attached to that stone. So I am very big on the certain things that I say out of my mouth, understanding what am I calling on and what is coming to me. And so my thing was, I was like, you say that's what it is, but that's not true. See, the enemy hides in plain sight. Okay, he knows that this is a thing. He hides in plain sight. And sometimes what I fear is a lot of people don't understand who you are calling and allowing into your home, what spirit and energies are attached to that spirit that you are calling into your home.
Yes.
And so you might think you're calling on the spirit of love, but you're calling on the spirit of lust. And so you got to really understand what you're calling. And so I realized, well, this isn't for me because I don't need to call on those spirits to come to me. I call on God and I say, God, these are the things that I need to do. Send your angels around me to protect me. Send your love and mercy. Give me your wisdom, because I know these spirits are real. These spirits of deception, the spirit of deceit, the spirit of lust, the spirit of arrogance, the spirit of manipulation, rebellion. These spirits are all real and they are tied to other spirits. That's what you don't realize. And if you don't believe me, Apostle John Eckert has a beautiful book that is definitely for people who like to research, but you need to go and get the Spiritual Deliverance and Spiritual Warfare Manual. And he lists and goes into depth about the different types of spirits out there, where they come from, where they live, what they're attached to. Like, guys, this is not a game. So if you are a Christian, understand that when you are serving two masters, you are literally saying there's an open floodgate, an open door to all manner of spirits to come into your home and to affect not only you, but the people affiliated in your home. So long story short, after I finished talking to that lady, going back to the story, I talked to the owner, who was at the time while I was talking to her, talking to two ladies, and he was just very jovial, explaining everything about the crystals to these ladies, about the chakras and the different colors. I mean, it was a 20-minute conversation that I sat there waiting for this man to get done. And the moment that I went up to the counter and to ask him, hey, can you explain it a little bit more in depth to me? He didn't want to explain anything. He literally looked at me, said, here's this book, you can go get this book, here's my YouTube site, you can go and look at that. Literally, he did not spend 2 minutes with me. He then showed me an event flyer and it was for psychics, people dealing with crystals, and it even said witches. And I was like, okay, so y'all all flock together.
Yes, they all flock together.
So you got to understand, guys, like that is a certain group of people. And a lot of times we think we're doing something to be trendy, or what I've really heard a lot of African American people say, to get back to our ancestors, because this is what our ancestors did. And that is a complete... Jesus.
That's a whole nother tangent.
Yes,
yeah,
I'm not even going to go there. Just do your research to understand, because I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to give you this little nugget. Sage did not come and originate in African American culture. It originated in Native American culture. So for all of y'all that say I do sage to get back to my ancestors and connected, you are not getting back connected to Africa, sweetie. That is a Native American culture. And I know because I am part Native American. There you go.
And any Africans that did do it, they picked it up from anybody in Native American culture. You know, they did trade.
Yes.
So it's not an original origin. And then those that say that a lot, they do that a lot when it comes to anything else. And they're really idolizing and the ancestors, because that's what they always call them, the ancestors. But anyway, if that's what you believe, then that's fine. But like Crystal said, you definitely want to be doing your research, do your Googles, so you know exactly what it is that you're doing. And then, like she said, these spirits, they attach themselves to anything. Yes, they even attach themselves to objects. They can attach themselves to objects. And like she said, I can wake up and say, today I'm going to have a good day. Today this is going to happen. Today this is going to happen. I've even commanded how many cash chips I'm going to get, and got them.
Yep.
This is exactly what I want. This is what I'm going to get. I gave praise to God for that before it even happened. This is how my day is going to go. This certain person will not bother me today. And that's how the day went. I don't necessarily need or believe in any other type of belief system. I'll just say it like that. I don't need that, and I don't necessarily believe in it. And again, that's not saying I don't know that they, or I don't believe that they have the properties that they do. I do not rely on them.
Yes. And guys, for those of you that are saying, well, I've had success with it, I've seen things happen, I'm going to say this. Do not be deceived. If you look at the story of Moses in the Bible, it literally states how he went up against the priests and the magi at that time, and they were able to mimic some of the same
because they believed
things
in
that
it.
He was doing. Yes,
that's why it's gonna work. You believe in it,
so that's why it's important to go back to what T and I said at the beginning of this podcast. You have to decide what you believe.
Yes, make a decision. That's all we're saying.
That's it.
There's no condemnation. There's no rebuke added to it. Make a clear choice. What are you going to believe? Because you cannot mix the two. What are you going to believe? And that is why those things work for people, because they wholeheartedly, that's why I said it is their belief system. Yes. Though they may not call it that.
That's exactly what it is.
It is their belief system. It is truly, honestly, what they 100% believe. So that's why it works for them. Mm-hmm. But as a Christian, if you are adding, and that is why I said, where is your trust? Because if you are adding these things to part of your belief system, which is supposed to be prayer, which one do you think is working? Where is your trust? Do you think prayer alone works? Mm-hmm. And I know we just had an episode talking about depression and those that may need to seek help. So someone may be saying, well, they prayed, it should be working. It is working. It's 100% working. Yes. God will put you in a position where you get assistance with other people. The difference is they're not relying on it. They're relying on the source.
That's it.
They use the resource for its ability. But at the end of the day,
they know who their source is.
They know who the source is, and they rely heavily on the source.
Yep.
So even I will use essential oils for certain things.
Yes.
Absolutely. Because they actually do have, they have those healing powers and properties.
But
I don't worship them, and I rule and reign over them.
Yes.
They do not rule and reign over me. I don't have an entire fit when I haven't used one of my essential oils or taken my turmeric to help with inflammation.
Yes.
I'm not going to go, oh my God, my day is ruined. No. If I forget and I'm in the middle of having an episode with my hands or my fingers, I'm going to pray.
Yes.
Pray over my body, and I'm going to tell it and command it what it needs to do.
Exactly. That's it.
Because I know how to use a resource. A resource is not going to use me.
That's it.
So you guys really have to make a clear choice. Which one is it going to be? And that is for those who aren't sure. Because most of the time when Christians are dabbling in anything else, it's because they're not sure.
Yes. And you're just wondering, well, this isn't working. Maybe I can try this, or somebody suggested this. Let me just try it. Or it looks neat, or whatever and stuff. Because I'm not going to lie, had it been a few years ago, I probably would have picked up Sage myself.
I most definitely probably would have, because I would have thought, well, it wouldn't hurt. It has its own energy and all of that. I would have. I don't even say a couple of years ago. Well, I would say at least maybe 2.
Mm-hmm.
But now that I have grown spiritually in my walk with Christ, I know now I don't need that.
Yes. That's all it is. So we're telling you guys, research, make a decision, and that's it. And here's the thing. When we say make a decision, I'm going to be honest, there's no condemnation. You may not choose Christianity.
And that's fine.
That's completely fine.
That's totally fine.
He says whoever will come. So let them. So I'm not here to condemn. What I'm saying is you have to make a decision in your life as to who's going to reign.
Yes.
Period. So that's all I got, T.
That's it, man. Where they finding you, Crystal?
You can find me on Facebook and Instagram at Charmaine Kierce. You can also find me on the blog at charmainesconfessions.com.
And then you guys can find me Facebook, Tanisha Williams, and Instagram, it's Styles by Tanisha J. You guys make sure you follow us on Facebook at She Laughs, and on Instagram we are found under She Laughs Podcast.
Yes.
So make sure you guys follow those. Also, on the links or the sources that you guys are using to hear us, whether it be Spreaker, iTunes, Spotify, please rate us. And I'm not asking nicely for a 5-star. I'm telling you, please give us a 5-star rating.
Yes.
The reason why is because the importance of giving us a 5-star rating on these sources for media is it makes us more visible for people to find us. So it's not hard when they search for us or for content similar to what we're talking about that they may be looking for. Yep. So please give us a 5, comment, and also, any questions you guys or topics you guys may have, you can always hit us up. Gmail, the Gmail is shelaughspodcast@gmail.com. Yes. Also, it's time to pass the collection plate.
Hey!
If you guys want to give us any funds, we take them in any amount. They are much so needed, and they are appreciated.
Yes.
Anything that you guys give us through PayPal will be used for the business of this podcast and other podcasts that Ill Communications has, and that is the mics, headphones,
yes.
Any type of softwares we download, video cameras, all of that good stuff, lighting.
We are trying to have more live.
Yes, we want to be able to have live podcasts eventually, so we
Yep.
need funds for that, and we would definitely appreciate you guys' donations and help. So to do that, we have PayPal, and the link is paypal.me/SheLaughsPodcast. That's paypal.me/SheLaughsPodcast.
Thanks, guys.
See you guys later.